What is going on, guys? Samuel World from Samuel World Productions here, back with another tier list for you all today. And this is the list I've been wanting to do for quite some time, actually, like a while, actually. And I'm finally able to do it. And that is to rank every season of Hell's Kitchen from worst to best. And of course, those who don't know, I'm sure some of you know, but Hell's Kitchen is basically a reality show that basically was Gordon Ramsay training a bunch of chefs, a bunch of people trying to cook, and basically the winner ends up getting a job in one of his restaurants. And this is a show I've always heard a lot about, but never actually got around to watching it. But yeah, during my time, where basically, I was stuck in a hotel for like 3 months and everything, and it was getting like really bad, my mental, like all that crazy stuff with the hotel. Hell's Kitchen was a show I ended up unintentionally binge watching because it was on a random channel on Roku in one of the hotels, and well, because of that, I basically ended up binge watching all the seasons of the show. Yeah, I binge watched every season of Hell's Kitchen during my time at the Happy Hotel, and honestly, I'm kind of glad I finally got into Hell's Kitchen. Honestly, because it's probably this is the definition. This is the definition of a show that's perfectly bingeable. Like you can, like show we can watch so many episodes, all the episodes at once. You can get something out of something, and I'm glad I finally got into the show. Honestly, pretty unintentional, honestly, but I'm glad I did get into Hell's Kitchen, because, man, this show can get pretty crazy sometimes, and has some seasons that are all-time great reality shows, and some moments that are some all-time greats, if I'm being honest. And with the recent end of the Hell's Kitchen Battle of the Ages season, I figured now would be the perfect time to rank every season. I'll figure what I want to do in a regular list or a tier list format, but I decided to go tier list, honestly. As honestly, just clarify, while there are a few seasons I do not like on Hell's Kitchen, I really don't think any season is bad, actually, which is why there's no any like bad or train wrecked here on this list. It's just Hell High, Hell Great, Hell Right, which is basically good, Hell Decent, Hell Mixed Bag, and Hell Eh. Because again, I really don't think any season is bad, honestly, and that's kind of a reality show. I'm sure some may think otherwise, but that's personally how I feel. And obviously, there are a few seasons that I don't like, but as a whole, I love just about a lot of them involving Hell's Kitchen. Just clarify, I might get into a little bit of spoiler territory here because I think I can't. I think you can't really talk about some season of reality shows without getting into spoiler territory. Honestly, at least nowadays, man, don't blame me blaming reality shows. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this ranking, and this definitely not going to be the only Hell's Kitchen video I will be doing, and eventually I plan on doing a winner ranking, a runner-up ranking, a third place ranking, a fourth place ranking, and eventually I do plan to do a couple of shorts where basically I talk about my favorite chefs and my favorite dinner services at Hell's Kitchen, so stay tuned for all that stuff coming your very way. But yeah, we got 21 seasons to rank here. So let's go start with the first season of Hell's Kitchen, which, looking back on it, is a very interesting season. Because again, when Hell's Kitchen started, a lot of the people that were on the show weren't actually trained chefs. Yeah, but in the first few seasons, some of the people on here weren't actually trained chefs. It's interesting when you think about it, honestly. Yeah, it kind of makes it a lot more interesting, honestly, especially with some mistakes that you end up making this season. And so what I think of the first season of Hell's Kitchen, honestly, it's not a season that's only talked about in Hell's Kitchen, and yeah, honestly, it's kind of I don't hate this season, honestly. It's a pretty solid, decent watch. Honestly, this still has a memorable winner, has a memorable final two, has some elements that are kind of more huge and apparent in later seasons. This is one of those more simple and more Ramsay breaking the rules on kind of all that stuff in later seasons where that's pretty much now it doesn't have the stuff that's now apparent in modern Hell's Kitchen seasons. So it's very interesting to look back on, even though I don't think this is like a highly great season like first season like in Survivor or even The Amazing Race, but it's going in the hell decent tier. But it had a taste of what you can expect from Gordon Ramsay. Again, this was kind of Gordon Ramsay. It was more of a new figure in pop culture, which is pretty interesting to look back on. And do you also remember times where he used to also bash customers as well? Yeah. But overall, it's all season. I think season 2, however, is definitely a much more improved version of season 1. I'm also season 1 definitely had like, a solid cast. You definitely have figures like Michael, Ralph, Elise, and even Jimmy and Andrew being the first villain. Everyone else was just fine. Season 2, I think, has a much more improved cast, with Heather being a great winner, Virginia being an interesting person who basically got nominated so many times, yet she ended up finishing second. Keith was also a memorable character, and Garrett was also great. You get some fun moments. It's also the first time where basically both teams end up losing, which I know is kind of more of a common thing in later seasons, but you could this definitely wasn't common in old school Hell's Kitchen. But yeah, you do some great fun dinners, there's some great interactions, and while not having like many all-time great moments, it's still a pretty well watch. So it's going a little bit above in the hell right here. Season 3. This is probably peak Gordon Ramsay. This is probably where Gordon Ramsay really was at the top of his career. Honestly, where he was more of an icon than as he basically is now. And I think that we start to see more people that actually like train chefs, honestly, and you do get another great cast here as well, like with Rock, Barney, Jen, Julia having one of the biggest underdog stories ever. Some really fun downfalls, especially with Melissa. Some really crazy mistakes, like one chef basically taking Miss Getty out of the trash. Yeah, that actually happened. So that's part she ended up being. But you do get some great iconic moments here as well, some really great laughs, some really great fun in the season as a whole. So I'm still going to put it in the hell right here. Then we get to season 4. A very interesting season, but one I do honestly very much enjoy. Again, it's really because of I think the cast is sometimes the cast can make or break your season, and most of the time the cast really do make a lot of these seasons. And season 4 is no exception. Season also has probably the first shocking winner with Christina, who someone that was so up and down all season, you didn't think she would win, especially with her opponent being a much better and probably one of the most likable chefs to ever appear. But this was known that, hey, Gordon really doesn't want to like have like older people be his winner. That was a thing about Gordon until the season we were talking about later on. But you do got a great cast. Like you also get Corey, who has probably a surprisingly deep arc. Jen was hilarious and kind of fun to watch. Matt was one of the worst chefs. It was so entertaining and how bad he was. He only had like one good server. Yeah, he somehow made it to Black Jackets. I could also say something with Josh from season 3, who but only had one good service. He somehow made the Black Jackets. Seriously. And also season 3 was also the first time where someone basically was ejected out of the kitchen with no elimination, which again is now pretty much a common occurrence in new seasons. But season 4 I think is a great season. It has a couple all-time good dinner services, some all-time great moments, some a really great arc with Christina and Corey's relationship throughout the season, and some really surprising moments in general. Again, basically what you can expect from Hell Chicken season, especially in Oscar, so it's going in the hell great tier. Hell great! Hell great! Hell great! Now we get to season 5. In my opinion, this is a truly fantastic season. Now, season like this season was just all-time great Hell's Kitchen, in my opinion. There's so much to really admire and love about season 5. It's honestly a top 5 season, in my opinion. Again, the cast is pretty great. Again, Danny, Paula, great final 2. Robert, really great. Again, has a pretty sad exit. And you also get people like Ben, Andrea, Giovanni. This is also the first incident where someone was eliminated despite being on the winning team, which again is now common occurrence in Modern Hell's Kitchen. Hell's Kitchen, you get some all-time great and awful dinner services in this season. You get some all-time screaming, like a lot of times Gordon Ramsay was basically like at his like peak in terms of his yelling and his insults here. Again, that's the reason why Gordon Ramsay is the beloved icon that he is today, and it's pretty much for seasons like this. And again, you get some all-time great highs with these characters, and some characters that end up having very satisfying eliminations, sometimes even sad eliminations as well. Again, it's 5 seasons now. It's going in the hell right tier, hell high tier. Like they're like 5 seasons in the hell high tier that I expect to be like the top echelon of Hell's Kitchen, and probably the seasons I would recommend you watch if you want to get in Hell's Kitchen. And we're gonna get to another one of those seasons actually with season 6. Who a lot of people if you have a lot of Hell's Kitchen fans, at least the ones I've asked, a lot of people would consider this season to be the best. And it's not hard to argue why, honestly. It's definitely not my personal favorite, but it's definitely still one of my favorites. Because season 6 is basically what you can expect from Hell's Kitchen season. Beating with the cast and the dinner service mistakes, like the first open dinner service. Oh my god, definitely like that. That's still made for that's probably the best opening dinner service in the Hell's Kitchen industry in terms of the mistakes, in terms of the what goes on, and of course you got the most iconic moment in the show's history on this season with Joseph. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm pretty sure if you watch Hell's Kitchen, you know what moment I'm talking about. But you get some all-time great characters here, like you get an amazing final 2 with Dave and Kevin, who, despite having massive injuries, Kevin having a broken leg and Dave having a broken wrist, they end up making the final 2 and end up really steamrolling the entire season. I mentioned they're just likable people as well. And you get some other great people like Ariel, who of course ends up winning the latest season we'll get into. Van was an incredibly fun character and has some all-time great moments, especially with John Philippe won the Marty, actually the Marty of the show and everything. John Philippe, the two shows are also pretty fun. And Marty's are also pretty fun, especially John Philippe play. Like he was just so fun on Old School Hell's Kitchen. And that's not if you've seen the show, you know what I mean by that. And you also get people like Tennille, who has one of the biggest comeback stories in the show's history. You also get some other fun characters like Suzanne, Sabrina, Andy, Jim. Also, again, that season was like, if you ask a lot of people consider this to still be the best season. It might be kind of predictable, but it's definitely still, I consider the upper echelon of Hell's Kitchen. Upper echelon of Hell's Kitchen. And now we get to season 7, which it's kind of an interesting season considering it probably has one of the worst teams in Hell's Kitchen, probably the worst red team in Hell's Kitchen history. Like, wow. A team that honestly probably did not win one single dinner service throughout the entire season. Yeah, no joke, they didn't win any dinner services. They don't do the kind of joint, but still, in terms of the actual one service by themselves, they didn't win any services. Which kind of makes it so, which the thing that makes it so interesting to watch is just that alone. Of course, you do get some great characters here. I mean, you got Jay here, who before here I actually knew for Bar Rescue, but I didn't realize that now he's actually the Blue Team sous chef, which was pretty interesting actually. We actually see his first time on Hell's Kitchen, and he was definitely a great character to watch. You also get people like Benjamin, who was also fun to watch, and you also get people like Fran, Scott being one of the most arrogant people ever be on Hell's Kitchen, Anna, Jason, Ed. And you also get the amazing Nuka meltdown. It's one of the best meltdowns, probably the biggest meltdown in Hell's Kitchen history. And there's still a lot of fun we had this season, but aside from the meltdown, honestly, there's not really too many all-time great moments in this season, despite how fun it is. And it's probably only one of a couple seasons where I'm kind of unsatisfied with the winner, honestly. Because, I mean, nothing against Holly, obviously, but I think a lot of people agree that Jay was kind of the more better choice. It's kind of a season out a little bit, but there's still enough greatness to where it goes in the hell right here. Season 8. A lot of people will compare it to season 2, probably Survivor Gabon, honestly. For those who don't know, Survivor Gabon is basically infamous for being a terrible season, but an infamously terrible season and a really terrible season from his production choices, the cast, and how certain things were handled. Like stuff you would not see in Survivor ever, honestly, but it's a very infamous season, and that's from and it's not from something that what people said or anything, or people who are mean and unlikable, honestly. It's just how the season is structured. In fact, Hell's also probably one of the worst has a really odd Final 3, and people who weren't really there to actually play game. At least that's not what it feels like, at least. And yeah, for those who Secret Bone probably know what I'm talking about, get more than that when I do my special Survivor Season ranking, which I hopefully should have up next week. But I'm going to compare that to Hell's Kitchen Season 8, which has the least talented group of chefs to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen. Like look at the flat jackets of people that consider to be some of the worst chefs to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen. At least some of the most unlikable people as well. And the person that ended up winning is probably the most inconsistent winning chef ever. I do like I do like a lot more than most people do, honestly. Though I can definitely understand why people really care would be the worst winner in Hell's Kitchen. And this is one of the most fun and entertaining seasons of Hell's Kitchen. Again, in spite of Promise Capone, I still love Capone. It was actually the season that actually got me into Survivor. Again, I'll get more on that when we get to that ranking, but Hell's Kitchen Season 8 is a highly entertaining season that has some of the most infamous and terrible mistakes ever on Hell's Kitchen. Like, ever? And you also get some very fun characters throughout the season as well. You also get a very satisfying downfall with Russell, who is the most unlikable douchebag ever, which says a lot. And gets a very unexpected downfall by not winning the season, by making it to the end, by being the most talented chef ever. But you still get the fun characters. Again, Noah was still fun, Jillian was great, and despite the fact that Trev, Gail, and Sabrina are not great chefs, they were still fun to watch, and they were still fun to watch despite their attitudes. And even people like Vinny, Rob, Boris, Melissa, they're all fun characters. And of course, you cannot talk about Raj. Like, freaking Raj. Oh my god. So yeah, Hell's Kitchen Season 8 is going in the Hell grade tier. I'm not sure if that's going to be popular or not, but yeah. Now we get to Hell's Kitchen Season 9. And this is going to be one of 3 seasons on this list that I'm particularly not a fan of. Well, I honestly don't hate the seasons. They're seasons that I'm just not really huge on for a lot of reasons. So this one's going in the mixed bag. A lot of people consider this season to be the absolute worst, and one season to be worse. And season 9 I just don't really care for it. It's not a bad season by any means, but it's definitely not a season I would go back to very often. Like, there are definitely some great characters. I think Paul Will really solid Round 2, and Ian Wayne would be great for the season. It's definitely some of the most passionate people that be on Hell's Kitchen. I also got some other characters like Tommy, Jennifer Elizabeth, Natalie. Even Carrie has a fun moments. Even Jamie has a fun moments, but these are characters that are just pretty much very unlikable from beginning to end. And while there definitely are been some unlikable chefs on the show that are entertaining, this is one of the seasons where it's like, there's just one fun to watch. And of course you got Elise, who is, let's say she's the most contestant in Hell's Kitchen for a goddamn reason. And it's probably the most despised, the most despicable, the most unlikable, and chef Jeffrey Hell's Kitchen, which is, again, saying a lot, considering how many unlikable people there are, and some of the stuff they would say, which we'll definitely get into some of these seasons, but the other reason why Elise is known for being incredibly hated as she is, and especially how up and down she is in terms of when she's good and when she's bad and all that stuff, which, and you can tell they just want her just for pure entertainment, and because that we're going to get a lot of unfair eliminations where she is nominated, when you feel like that's some other people should go home, like the Jennifer one being a parent one, and both of these can't have her moments. The entertainment, again, I can see why she's the most takes Hell's Kitchen, and her attitude does kind of bring a lot more season down, honestly, and she made way farther than she should have, honestly, which is, I know it's kind of a apparent problem in Hell's Kitchen, but some other people make it way farther than they should have, and we'll get into that next season, but this is definitely the biggest apparent of that in this season, and for good reason, which makes the elimination of Montreal a lot more satisfying. So again, not a terrible season, not like an unwatchable season by any means, but probably one of the few Hell's Kitchen seasons I'm probably going to come back to the least. Sorry. Now we get to the 10th season of Hell's Kitchen, which is definitely an interesting season, considering it was the first season of Christina Wilson, who not only wins the season, but is now basically the sous chef for Gordon Ramsay since season 15. which was it's very interesting. But I mean, she's definitely better than this season. Honestly, she's definitely proved how great of a chef she can be. And what she did, I especially like back then, she made a lot more mistakes than I actually remember her making, honestly. But as a whole, it's hard to see why she ended up winning this season and why she is a what she did win this season and why she is again the sous chef Gordon Ramsay now. And of course, there's some few things that the season is known for. First, this and the next season we talk about seasons that have kind of are very long seasons. These as well, they have some episodes where they kind of have like one or two parts to it. But one episode they have the challenge and a crazy moment happens and they have a cliffhanger. The least next episode, which is the dinner service. The service and then the elimination. And sometimes you want to add the elimination to the next episode. Like they kind of basically stretch out some episodes in this season, honestly. Which again, I think some cliffhangers look better than others, honestly. And at least in this season, some of them works better than others, honestly. But it definitely does hurt the season a bit. And also, what does kind of hurt the season a bit is basically the bitchiness of the season, as probably one of the most unequal teams ever in the red team with Tiffany, Robin, Kimmy, and a few other people that are just terrible people, if I'm being honest, and get into nonsensical fights, which some of them are fun, more fun than others, but some of it is like, yeah, can you dial it down a bit, please? But it's kind of feel like it definitely has the moments. Like I don't want to say I entirely like hate Robin or Kimmy or Tiffany, though I kind of do, but the business does kind of be too much, especially the hit show with Barbie, which is like, honestly, Barbie's actually a likable player in this season. Oh, sorry, there's a different story, but I actually don't think Barbie's the best that people make out to be, honestly, at least in this season. But you still get likable people as well, and then get Christina as like a memorable presence in this season. Justin was a fun presence. Dina was great. Clemenza was a hilarious disaster from some of the mistakes that he made. Actually, one of those was like, Jesus. And celebrity presence like Brian, Patrick, Royce. You get some all-time fun dinner services and some all-time hilarious moments in this season. Again, the length and the bitchiness does kind of bring the season down a bit, but I'm still going to put it in the hell right tier. Season 11. Again, like season 10, it basically feels like it has to stretch out the length by having like two parts in some services. Sometimes though, even having services which is not really elimination, so it kind of makes it feel pointless. And honestly, though, again, it does have some good cliffhanger, especially with the opening service, which is in the bid for being the best opening service in Hell's Kitchen history. But honestly, watching this season, it's one I've never been fond of, honestly. And the thing to obviously remember, season 11 is basically the demise of the blue team, which is probably in debate with season 16 as the worst blue team in Hell's Kitchen history. And I mean, for good reason, the team that hardly wins any like challenges or dinner services, and have a lot of contestants just go like down, down, down. Some I think shouldn't eliminate, like Michael Anthony, all great characters here, and Zach, despite his mistakes that he makes later on, he is also a fun character and also has some fun moments as well. And John, I think, is a fantastic character and a quite likable chef. And you can see that he's now working for Gordon Ramsay in the latest season. Like, it was cool seeing that. Honestly, and he also gets around pretty testing like Susan is a really great character with a good underdog story, and Mary has one of the biggest comebacks in the history of Hell's Kitchen. Kitchen by someone who basically could have been eliminated like the first 3 or 5 episodes, five eliminations, but she ended up really ruining herself. Unfortunately, as probably Janelle, who is probably, in my opinion, the most forgettable winner in Hell's Kitchen history. Unfortunately, I think Mary also should have won that season. And it gets my players that are just not fun to watch, not interesting, and again, the length does kind of hurt a bit, but there's still some great moments in the season that do elevate it on like season 9, so I think there's still enough to put it in that hella decent category. Hell decent! Set. Now we get to season 12. And I'm just going to get this out of the way. Hell's Kitchen season 12 is, in my opinion, the best season of Hell's Kitchen. If I was the season I think has the most memorable moments, the most memorable services, the most memorable cast, for me, season 20 is the best. has so many incredible moments, so many outstanding services, and it has 3 services that are probably some of the worst opening services in Hell's Kitchen history. And the cast itself is firing off on all cylinders, whether they if they're good or just terrible. Honestly, like Mike could know people in the worst chest ever. Yeah, his downfall was hilarious. Simone quitting, Garal basically sticking his fingers in the food. And makes him become a first boot. Food. You get some other great contestants here. Like Chris, Ralph, Jessica. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Beth. Again, Ralph, Sandra. Anton, who has probably one of the biggest downfalls in Hell's Kitchen history. Someone who could have won the season, but yeah, pretty much his ego was too big and he didn't make it to even the Black Jackets. And again, David's downfall and his teleservice. Keisha was a great player to watch. Joy and her epic meltdown. That's anybody would be in the best moment in the show's history, in my opinion. At least the moment that so far I rewatched the most. And then you get a great final four with Rochelle being one of the most likable and genuine people ever on the show. Melanie being a great player as well. Jason, who someone who actually was medically evacuated in season 9 before the first dinner service even began. And to come back and he makes it to the end. He's a couple off moments. He definitely is a great chef to watch. And then you got Scott, who's maybe being nominated 7 times in this season. Ends up winning the entire season. I'm pretty nervous, can't believe it either, but again, talk about comeback. And it's actually about this season, along with a couple of talk about, is that this season is very unpredictable, which is not how great Hell's Kitchen can be at times. Sometimes it's not the most unpredictable show in the world in some seasons. Even the best seasons have some moments like, yeah, it's pretty obvious that person's gone home. But this season, I was like floored that some chefs you think could go home easily, but or some chefs you think could make it farther, end up getting eliminated pretty early and all that stuff. And one of those things where you never know what could happen. And that's what made it so enticing to watch. And you also get great cast as well. Again, Scott is got nominated as a great underdog and an incredible winner of the show. One of the most likable chefs to ever feel in Hell's Kitchen, despite some of his off moments too. He definitely deserved his amazing win here. Just so many amazing moments, and the Unbidden in general is what elevates this season to be my favorite season of Hell's Kitchen. And probably like the Hell's Kitchen season, I'm probably going to come back. I probably would have come back to the most so far. Well, let's talk about the other season. Hell's Kitchen. Oh yeah. Hell right here. Right. Yep. Hell high. Then we get to season 13, which is a season that, aside from a few aspects, I don't really have much to say about. This is known being probably the most forgettable season in Hell's Kitchen, and yeah, it's not hard to see why people don't really remember this season, being honest. The only thing that people really remember about this season 4 is Sterling, who is probably the most likable chef to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen. Despite the fact he did not be made to Black Jackets, he was just so damn likable and kind of lazy in a way, because he's kind of like me in a way, which is why I love Sterling in this show. Honestly, and his is probably one of the most emotional moments ever in Hell's Kitchen. But aside from that, for him, there's not much I can say about the season. Again, not bad season, but I really don't have much to say about season 13, so it's just going in the hell decent tier. Sorry. And now we get to season 14, which, I'm sorry, in terms of the cast alone, it's fantastic. It has some all-time great characters in this season that end up returning for All Stars. You get some incredible people like probably the best, most talented chef in Megan this season, who, again, insanely talented and memorable. T was a great character. You also got characters like Michelle, Millie, who's probably going to be my favorite chef to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen, in my opinion. Again, we'll talk about that when we get to my best chefs list, but I also got Josh, who was an incredible character to watch, and someone I probably shouldn't do what they did, but yeah. Nick was also great here as well. You get some people like Allison, Randy, and you get a great cast of chefs. Again, Justine arguably has one of the most talented chefs probably the most talented group of chefs to ever appear on Hell's Kitchen. And for good reason, honestly. Again, I think the cast itself really makes the season well. And this is another season I wouldn't say has too many all-time great moments. It does have some all-time great chefs, which elevates it to the Hell Great tier. Hell Great! Now we get to season 15, which is the next season that's going in the Hell High tier. Hell High! Like, pretty much everything I said about season 12, you can point to this season. And this is another season that, honestly, is very unpredictable. One of those seasons that you never know what to expect going into it. Pretty much, some top chefs think could make it pretty far into this season, and they'll get eliminated pretty early. And this, as of right now, it's probably like the only season in Hell's Kitchen where everyone gets nominated at least once throughout the entire season. Like, everyone gets nominated at least once throughout the entire season. You get some great characters here as well. I mean, you got Ariel, who's definitely by far the most shocking winner in Hell's Kitchen because, well, she's a villain, and you think Hell can't go around as a winner while they villain the winner, but they did, and it's still surprising. But Ariel was definitely a fun character. Well, Kristen was great. Ashley was a fantastic person to watch. Jared and Amanda were great. Danny has his moments. Frank also has his moments, but also being one of the most likable chefs ever on this show, especially what he says about females and everything. Like, yeah, this is the show you know what I'm talking about. Chad was great. Jackie got something I should not enjoy as much as I did, but I had a blast with her antics throughout this season. Joe and Houston were also great as well. You get some fun early boots as well. You get some all-time great dinner services here. Like, so much just fun in this season. Again, a very unpredictable season as well. And now we get to 16, which was the first season of Hell's Kitchen that I did watch. So I might have a bit of nostalgia towards this season, honestly, in a way. But I think Hell's Kitchen this season is actually pretty good, actually. Honestly, again, it probably has some of the most unlikable people to have in Hell's Kitchen, which does kind of break down a bit, but it's what makes the elimination so satisfying, and some of them not even make it that far into the season, which was surprising. Of course, you do get a couple unfair eliminations, especially with Aaron, honestly. But you do get some great moments. You do get good characters here. Again, Heidi was great. Aside from the holding Andrew, Heather was great. Brian was a very satisfying winner here as well. Paulie does have his moments throughout the season, despite his attitude. And guys like Devin and Wendy also have their fun moments. You get some really great satisfying eliminations, which is probably why I elevate the season a little bit for me, because I know this is pretty much a very hated season of Hell's Kitchen. But I do have a little bit of nostalgia for the fact it's my first season of Hell's Kitchen that I fully watched. So I'm putting it in the Hell Great tier. And now, Hell's Kitchen All-Stars, a season where they brought back returning chefs. Now I'm just gonna get straight out of this way. This is my least favorite season of Hell's Kitchen. And literally the only season of this list that's going in the Hell tier. Honestly, and that's pretty unfortunate because it's always pretty unfortunate when returning player seasons end up becoming pretty disappointing. Honestly, because again, you excited to see some of the players actually return and see if they could actually win on a second return, but it's fortunate when the season itself as kind of pretty interesting. Again, I don't think All Stars is a bad season by any means. It's one of the play seasons, but you feel the people that actually returned are more based on personality than their actual cooking skills. I mean, Lisa and Robin, for example, for that, and Barbie, how much I enjoyed her. Full, and some of my plays were like, really? But they're more based on personality, which I do understand, but overall, I just didn't really enjoy the season as much. Again, it does have its moments. It does have its fun character moments. Again, it also gets there's some plays that are still great here, like with Millie, and Nick has an incredible time. Basically, he actually improves himself in this season, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Michelle was great, and despite what happened, she was still a worthy winner in my opinion. Benjamin was fine, and some players would not as like edited well as much as I wanted to, but I think I'll leave it. But of course, what brings season down is the many unfair eliminations, which while unfair eliminations is uncommon for Hell's Kitchen, it's the most apparent here. Towards easily the most frustrating. Well, even the previous eliminations I mentioned the unfair eliminations, aside from the Jennifer one, you can at least understand why they started eliminating. I mean, maybe aside from Jennifer, maybe Anthony and Michael season 11, but aside from that, this is one season where I just don't understand what Reigns is thinking of some of these eliminations, especially of course Van, of course Nick with that final feud bullshit twist is the most apparent on that twist. But even with unfair eliminations, which had been pretty awesome this season, again, you get a lot of bitches from Elise that I really cannot stand, and Robin and other characters that's like, I just didn't really care for. And some players didn't end up being as fun and interesting as I remember them being. So, again, it's not a bad season, but if I don't think which season I think I'm going to watch the least, it's unfortunate at this point that it's an all-star season. But anyways, we have 4 seasons to go. Hope you all enjoyed this tier list so far. Again, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. And I would love to know how you guys will rank every season of Hell's Kitchen down below in the comments. Again, I do plan on doing a winner, runner-up, third, or fourth place tier list at some point down the road, and I plan on doing a couple of YouTube short top 10s involving Hell's Kitchen. Again, I love talking about this show, so I definitely want to have videos where I talk about more Hell's Kitchen, so stay tuned for that. Now we got to get to the next 4 seasons. First off, we have Hell's Kitchen Rookies versus Veterans, which basically is kind of like a fans versus favorite season, where basically you get up to 8 rookies, 8 new chats, facing off against other on chats from previous seasons. And yeah, now we have the 5 upper echelon seasons of Hell's Kitchen, with the Rookies versus Veterans. I don't know what the overall consensus of this season, but this is one of the most fun, entertaining seasons of Hell's Kitchen. Has so many hilarious dinner service mistakes and moments. That season gets some pretty incredible characters throughout the season. Not just from you can get great rookie characters here as well. Again, Mia being a great example. Mato, Keontae, Jose, Scott Lee. Again, some great memorable rookie characters that throughout this season that has some great storylines and some great moments. Even the villains were great as well. Again, Jen has an incredible downfall in her time on short time on Hell's Kitchen. And one this point that Kevin and T did not make enough for it. That adds a little bit of unpredictability this season as well. In spite of some of his off moments, Brad was a fantastic character, and I'm happy he got attention by his evacuation in 14. Ariel was a satisfying win throughout the season, had a great, incredible story throughout the season. And Trev was as hilarious and crazy as he's ever been, honestly. But overall, this season was fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. Again, this is basically what I consider to be the upper echelons of Hell's Kitchen. The 5 seasons I consider to be the top tier, like the Mount Rushmore of Hell's Kitchen. But let's talk about the seasons. We got Hell's Kitchen season 19, Las Vegas, which is another great season of Hell's Kitchen that has a very talented and likable cast. Corey I think was a good winner, but McManley was a fantastic character. Declan was great. Cody was great. Nikki had an amazing underdog story, and you get some fun early boots as well. So you get a fun villain character Mark as well. So this season is going in that hell great tier. And I would say the same thing for Hell's Kitchen Young Guns, where Secret Ring is to try to find his protege. And you get a very fun, great, young, likable cast as well. Again, Trent was a great winner, Megan was great, Kaya, Bryn, Steve, Emily, Josie, Sam, Victoria. I think in terms of cast, this season really nails the cast as well. Well, I'm still not a fan of the whole Cookie Light thing and day 1 bullshit elimination. It's still enough to wear, but it's in a great tier as well. And now, we get to the final season in this tier list. And the most recent season, Hell's Kitchen Battle of the Ages. Basically, they divide teams based on young versus old. And it's going right tier. And this is another season where I don't think it really has many all-time great moments. Like, you do get some great dinner stories, especially with the Final Fight Blackjack service and service involving Trenton and his wife Macy's wedding. That was fantastic. But in terms of moments, I think they're all-time great. there's not much in that season despite having a great and likable cast around the season, having some fun hilarious moments, and having an incredibly satisfying winner, giving us the first 40-plus winner in Hell's Kitchen. Because, again, like I mentioned, season 4, Joseph probably could have won if he was a bit younger, but this season displayed an actual 40-plus winner, which was pretty satisfying, and he was definitely one of the most talented chefs to be on Hell's Kitchen. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my ranking on every season of Hell's Kitchen. For those who basically don't know how I rank it, basically last place would be Hell's Kitchen All-Stars, number 20 would be season 9, number 19 would be season 13, 18 would be season 1, 17 would be season 11, 16 would be season 2, 15 would be season 10, 14 would be season 3, 13 would be season 7, and 12 would be the most recent season, Battle of the Ages. Number 11 would be Hell's Kitchen Las Vegas season 19. Number 10 would be season 4. Number 9 would be season 20. Number 8 would be season 14. Number 7 would be season 8. Number 6 would be season 15. Number 5 would be season 5. Number 4 would be season 18. Number 3 would be season 15. Number 2 would be season 6. And number 1 would be season 12. Yeah, I've been wanting to do this Hell's Kitchen ranking for quite a while, so I'm happy I finally got the chance to do it. Again, not the only Hell's Kitchen video you'll see on this channel in the future, but I hope you all enjoyed my ranking of every season of Hell's Kitchen. I'm happy I did sign again to the show, but hope you enjoyed. I'm Samuel One Wall from Samuel Productions. I'll see you again next time, and as always, stay cool up, buddy. Peace.